It is Monday, my dudes. It is October 28th. We are, what is this like? Because I can do math. What are we, 8 or 9 days away from Election Day, November 5th? I'm excited for Election Day. Although they are doing everything in their power to ensure that people's ballots are not going to be counted, especially the early voting ones. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Look at this. This is in Washington. I just want you guys to see this. Hopefully you can hear me. By the way, this is a ballot box that was set on fire in Washington. Those are people's ballots that have been dropped off that are now not going to be counted because who knows whose ballots those were. This is why this is such a big deal. Donald Trump has been saying to early vote because he knows that they're going to try to do some underhanded shit on November 5th. And I agree with him. So we go out and early vote. We do our part. And then you have the Democrats already starting with the underhanded stuff by setting ballot boxes on fire. You know who's not going to do that? Republicans. You know why? Because Republicans know that Donald Trump is going to win. The person who is going to set these on fire is a Democrat who's terrified that Donald Trump is going to win. So they're trying to get rid of the ballots, the votes for him, right? So you have this on fire here. This was in Clark County in Washington. It says here, Clark County elections ballot drop box at the Fisher's Landing Transit Center was lit on fire this morning. Clark County Auditor Greg Kimsey says hundreds of ballots were inside at the time, the last pickup being 11 a.m. on Saturday. So these are ballots that people filled out on their own, drove them to Fisher's Landing Transit Center, dropped them in the ballot drop box, and now there's no record of them. Well, actually, look, this is probably why they're doing this. There's no record of who's voted, but how do you, I guess if you had deposited your ballot at the Fisher's Landing Transit Center thing, then you should now go in person to vote. I don't know. It's a clusterfuck is what it is. The whole thing is absolutely crazy, but it's not surprising that this is happening. I went in and voted today. I've seen numerous of you guys commenting that you went and voted today. So thank you for that. I'm glad you guys went and voted. I went and voted first day it was available here in Okaloosa County. We were in the door within 5 minutes of the place opening. We voted, got my little sticker. My husband put it on the back of his phone, his I voted stickers on the back of his phone. And it was great. The ballot drop boxes you would think would be safe, but obviously they're not. So now this is, even worse for people who have done this. Maybe early voting is best. Maybe waiting till November 5th is best, but in person may be the safest option right now. Y'all, so much has happened in the last couple of days, the last 24 hours. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just as a heads up, we're going to talk about a lot. There's going to be some Kamala Harris, a little bit of Bill Clinton. We got Joe Biden in here. We have Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Vivek Ramaswamy, Tucker Carlson, that comedian who made the Puerto Rican joke that only white people got pissed at. We have Tim Walz. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Just want to remind everybody, this is chill. This is just a conversation amongst friends. I'm going to share some information. You're going to get a whole lot of opinion along with that information. And I want to thank you ahead of time for being here. Yes, everything is still backwards. I have reached out to YouTube Technical. I have reached out to everybody and their mama to say, what the crap with the backwards on live streams. They're working on it. We're going to get it figured out. Fingers crossed it'll fix soon because it didn't start till October 1st, which, y'all, I was talking to the one person at YouTube and I was like, is this because I am a conservative political channel? Because that's what a lot of people consider me, a conservative political channel. I'm just a chick with a camera and a microphone with a lot of opinions who happens to be talking about politics and happens to be conservative. So, it works. But I asked them, I said, up until October 1st, everything worked fine in a live stream. And now suddenly, all, crap breaking loose in live streams, everything's backwards. Things are getting messed up. I feel like I'm being targeted here, but maybe not. It is what it is, but I have reached out and hopefully they will get it fixed soon. All right. So we looked at the ballots. Look, this is just funny. It's going to be backwards. So I'm just going to read it to you and then show you the picture. But Mr. Donald J. Trump posted on X. He said, when I'm president, the McDonald's ice cream machines will work great again. And I just think it's hilarious because it's him in the McDonald's drive-thru from when he made the French fries, but Biden wearing the Trump hat and holding his ice cream because we know how Biden likes ice cream. I just think that was petty and hilarious at the exact same time. I am all for petty and funny. So let's jump into everything that's actually going on. So we've already talked about the ballots. Let's talk about, oh, y'all, let's talk about so many different things. The one thing that I want to talk about first is the border crisis. And by the border crisis, I mean how people, and by people, I mean Democrats, don't believe that illegal immigrants should be deported once Donald Trump is in office. They think they should just stay here. They made it in, might as well let them stay, right? This lady's talking here. I'm going to show you this clip from 60 Minutes. She's talking about how, in theory, it's supposed to cost so much money to deport all these illegal immigrants. And I'm like, ma'am, it costs us way more to let them cross our border illegally and to keep them here and to fund them all the time. It costs way more than what she's talking about. But this guy here, the director, Tom Homan, they're saying that he should be the director of ICE in Trump's next administration. I want you to hear this conversation. This man gives zero fucks, like not a single one given. The way he's looking at her, he is like your grandpa who went through war and has seen everything, and nothing you say now is going to make him bat an eye because he is tough as nails and doesn't give a shit about your crap. I want you guys to hear what he had to say here with the questions that this lady is asking him on 60 Minutes. Let's make this bigger and hit play with the volume.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
That to me, I was like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love that. He said, of course, there's a way to keep them from being separated. Deport the families together. A lot of people don't want to have the conversation about that because they're like, well, the children are born here. They're citizens. Their parents still broke the law. So it's either the children stay and get adopted by a legal family, or the children go back to the country the parents came from when the parents get deported. Those are your two options. You either want to be with your family or you don't want to be with your family. But at no point in time should it be up to us, the taxpayers, to support the parents or the child. I don't care if people think that that's wrong or heartless or whatever, because it's just a kid. They're innocent in all of it, which is true, which is on the parents. Makes them really shitty parents for putting their kids in this situation. But I fully agree with this man that if you don't want your family to be pulled apart, two things: either don't come here illegally and, get deported, or don't let your child stay behind when you get deported. Take your kid with you. Those are the options. It's really not rocket science, and there's nothing wrong with being honest about the options that there are and the way that this should go. But people get so butthurt and all in their feelings about stuff. And the only people getting upset, listen, I'm a white female. I can say this. The only people getting upset are white people. They are getting so upset and butthurt over Puerto Rican jokes, over, that they think black people don't know how to vote because computers are too hard for them to work. Okay. They're getting butthurt over deporting illegal immigrants. Like, white people do better. No, Democrat white people do better. So there's that. Liberal people do better. It's weird to me that the only people that are really fighting everything are people that look like me. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but to me, it's extremely stupid. Anyway, they're just going to keep moving. Y'all want to hear Kamala? No, you don't, but I'm going to make you listen anyway, because I hate her. So you get to hate her with me. I want you to hear her when she gets on the stage in Philly. And for some reason, she thinks she's back in a church. She's back at, what was it? New Hope? No, what is it? New Birth in Atlanta, that church, which still not quite sure why they had her on stage there. But listen to this woman. You guys may have already heard this. And again, I'm sorry for making you listen to her. This is the person they want running this country. I don't understand why.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning, and church morning is on its way.
Preacher Harris, ma'am, take a seat in a pew. Like, you're not at all. Every time she gets on a stage, if she's talking to Shannon Sharp or anybody else that happens to be black, suddenly she becomes blackety black, like the blackness exudes, right? Voice wise, personality wise, not so much. If she's on a board with all white people, she sounds like the biggest cracker I've ever seen in my life. If she's in a Univision town hall, suddenly she's got some little Spanish flair to her. And if she's talking to a massive crowd, which there's probably 14 people here, I don't know. Suddenly she's a preacher in the pulpit and she's got this whole air about her. Y'all remember when she was on, who was it? Where was it? Stephen Colbert? Is that the one where she was like the Irish Jamaican? I don't even know what happened to her there. I don't understand. Anyway, that is it. She is a walking train wreck. And it's unbelievable to me that we are in a position where she is the candidate on the Democrat ballot because she was not nominated. Nobody voted her in there. So there's that. Side note, when a lush reminds you that they're a lush, just, take a screenshot of it and hold on to it and remember it. Her and Gretchen Whitmer. This is from Libs of TikTok. They said, we can't afford gas and groceries. Thousands of North Carolina residents just lost all of their belongings thanks to Hurricane Helene. Millions of illegals invaded our country, bringing crime to our neighborhoods. What's Kamala doing in the final days before election? Oh yeah, relaxing with a beer in a staged photo shoot. I don't know if you guys saw the video of it. Her and Gretchen Whitmer sitting at this bar. You can see the flipping cameras and the boom mics and all the people around. They have this whole entire setup to sit there and pretend like they're having a girl shoot the shit conversation, just having a grand old time, but with production all around them. She is the fakest thing I have ever seen. Between her and AOC, they give women a very, very bad name. All of it is scripted, every single little bit. What's funny to me is the way she's looking off while she takes this baby sip of beer. She wanted to chug that thing. She wanted to just get blasted. And she was like, oh, too many cameras. Sip like a lady. Sip like a lady. But when the cameras turned off, she probably had to take an entire bottle of Tylenol that night to get rid of the hangover for the next day because Kamala Harris is a lush. So there's that. I thought I had a video of them. Oh no, but I do have the video of where she tried to be Trump again. Okay, let's see. All the times that she has tried to be Trump, this is going to be very hard to keep them all in line. The no tax on tips, right? Number one. The drill baby drill. Okay, that's number two. Oh no, we're totally going to put a wall up. Of course, a wall is a great idea. That's number three. Then there was she did some other stuff. And now, I don't remember all of them. There's been so many. But now the latest one, Kamala Harris happens to be in a black barber shop. I don't know if you guys remember when, a week or two ago, Donald Trump did this. He went into a barber shop and had a conversation with the barbers and the customers in the chairs. Ma'am. Do you have any mind of your own at all? In the least whatsoever? There's no way that she has done nothing genuine, number one. She has done nothing. What's the right word? I can't think of the right word. Nothing that came to her own mind that wasn't either told for her to do or that she hasn't copied from somebody else. It is absolutely crazy to me that she has gotten this far. At this point, I am almost thinking that the Democrats are trying to sabotage her without coming out and saying, we effed up, we made a horrible decision. Let's just let her be as stupid as humanly possible, say all the stupid things and take herself out of the running, because every time she opens her mouth, she takes herself out of the running. I would like to say I got tagged in this by Carol494 over on X, which I thought was great. This woman is wearing her bra. Would you like to know why? Because she went to vote and they said that she's not allowed to wear anything that's political. And she said, okay, grandma stripped down to her brassiere and said, I'm still voting. Kiss my whole ass. And she went inside and voted for Trump and went back out and put her t-shirt back on. I was like, Now, she could have turned it inside out, but this definitely makes more of a statement. I'm all for it. Way to go, grandma. High five that one. There was another person who had on What shirt was it? I want to say it was a Make America Great Again, but that's all it said was Make America Great Again. It didn't say Trump on it. It didn't say Republican anything. It had nothing but those words. And that person was turned away. And it's like, wait, you can say that's political because it happens to be a slogan, but there's nothing on there that is endorsing any candidate whatsoever. So to me, that was a fine line, and the person wearing the Make America Great Again shirt should have been allowed in. I saw a guy yesterday wearing a shirt that said Make America Savage Again. And I was like, that is exactly what we need to make America savage again. Everybody is walking around like little bitch babies and crying over everything these days. Bro, sack up. Like, make America savage again. I would much rather be able to have a conversation and give my honest opinion every single time without having to tone it down or worry about hurting somebody's feelings, because dear God, it gets annoying over time. It is too much. This nation is becoming a nation of pansies and wussies, but with a P. And it's because of the Democrats in office pushing this whole entire just woke liberal agenda, turning everybody into walking crybabies. Anyway, we shall move on to the next thing that I've got here for you. I don't want that one. Oh, I do have the video. Look at this stupid ass sitting at the bar with her little hyena laugh. And Gretchen, look, the way she's leaning, I'm like, ma'am, did you have a beer on your way to have a beer? Like, what's happening over here? You're a little too comfortable in that chair, little ma'am. So anyways, it says here, the Harris campaign thought it would be good optics to have Kamala Harris sit at a bar and drink beer with a liberal white woman while using profanity. Tone deaf. Look, I would sit at a beer and use profanity. Sit at a bar, drink a beer, use profanity, but I'm not liberal. And I'm not going to sit down with very many liberal white women, because that conversation will not end well. So there's that. There's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with profanity or drinking beer or being at a bar. But when you are the person running for the president of the United States, like that's the seat you're running for, there are certain things you should not do. And that is definitely one of them. So just gonna put that out there. I saw this. I have not done the research to find out if this is accurate, but I feel like even if it's a little exaggerated, it's still accurate. In a sense. And so I want to read this to you. This said, food for thoughts for those that think, so that would be us, U.S. president's net worth before and after office. We're just going to start with Obama. Obama went into the presidency with like $1.3 million, left the presidency with $70 million. And we know that they have that much money because Michelle Obama felt the need to stand on the stage at the DNC and tell everybody how rich she was with how many houses and all this other shit that they have. So we know that they have money now. Now, is it because of underhanded, dirty things that they did in the White House? Probably. I mean, I'm sure there's other ways. Maybe they invested, wrote a book, or did some shit like that, whatever. But I'm pretty sure it's a lot of underhanded stuff. This is what it says here. Ronald Reagan went in with $10.6 million, came out 15.4. George H.W. Bush was worth $4 million when he became president, left $23 million. Okay. Bill Clinton, y'all, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, the two most disturbing individuals I think have ever been inside the White House, going all the way back to the very, very beginning of presidency, to George Washington and everything after that. I fully personally believe that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton have been the biggest puppet masters of everything, and they are the sickest individuals, okay? Bill Clinton was worth $1.3 million when he went into the White House. You want to know how much Bill Clinton was worth when he came out? And this is after the whole, I did not inhale, and, no, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, but I might have skeeted on a blue dress. Like, okay. He went in with $1.3 million, came out with $241.5 million. You don't get paid that much as a president. How the hell you make all that money, Bill? What were you doing? What were you doing while you were in office, Bill Clinton? Okay. Then you have George W. Bush. So that'd be the second one. $20 million on when he went in, $40 million when he came out. Guess they didn't pay him enough for 9/11. Barack Obama, we said 1.3 to 70. Donald Trump. Y'all ready for Donald Trump? He was worth $3.7 billion. Billion when he went into the presidency. Okay. Because of daddy's money. Let's just be fully upfront about it. Daddy's money and all of the business decisions he made after that to build upon daddy's money, right? He went in at 3.75 billion. When Donald Trump left the presidency, he had $2.5 billion. He never took a paycheck while he was a president. He gave money away to help people. He might have had to pay some people. Well, Stormy Daniels was a thing. We know it. But the point of the matter is, or is that the phrase, the point of the matter, is the fact that he is probably the only president in presidential history who was not some sort of skis while he was in office, right? Everybody else that was in there, I don't trust that they did anything that, well, rephrase. I don't trust that they did not do things they should not have been doing in order to get money they should never have had. There we go. But Donald Trump, he's the only one who left with less money at the end of his 4 years. Okay. I think it's worth pointing out. Just, you have a president or a vice president who is currently it's said that she has brought in the most donation money out of any presidential candidate ever, not nominee, presidential candidate ever. And instead of her spending that money on anything to actually help the people, she's paying off Willie Nelson to play in Houston. She's paying off Beyonce to speak for 2 minutes and not sing in Houston. She's paying off Lizzo to get up and twerk. She's paying off Meg the Stallion to get up and twerk. She's paying off Eminem and Usher. Basically, everybody who's on a Diddy list or an Epstein list is now getting money from the Kamala Harris campaign to strut around on stage and simp for her. Okay, cool. She could easily be out there instead of sitting at a bar. She could be out in North Carolina helping with campaign money to do something for the people in North Carolina who still need help. Hell, she could be down in Florida helping people who still need help from Hurricane Milton. She could be literally anywhere in this country helping people who need help because of all the decisions that her and Joe Biden have made over the last 4 years that have completely fucked this country up. But instead, she's sitting in a bar with photo ops with Gretchen Whitmer. So, you know, that. Oh, remember, y'all? Do y'all remember how not yesterday, maybe Friday. Today is Monday. So maybe Friday, because Saturday we didn't go live. Maybe Friday. We talked about how Kamala Harris is definitely on drugs. And I showed you the video of her where she was like rubbing her nose a lot. And people are like, you rub your nose too. Yeah, doing this. And if I have an itch and I go like this, that's a little different than every 5 seconds. That, ma'am, sirs, not the same at all. Not in the least. Plus, there's the talk that maybe all that cocaine in the White House wasn't Hunter Biden's. Maybe it was the vice president's, right? But according to this on X, this person says, undeniable, cocaine almost took me out and I got clean in 1984. Became a licensed counselor for drug addicted teens and worked at Coldwater Canyon Hospital, a lockdown facility, for a number of years. No doubt she is cranked on blow and is also drunk. That is my professional opinion. Swiping her nose is the topper. Remember this video? I showed you guys this one where I'm not gonna make you listen to her again, but where there's clearly something going on with her. Normally she looks stupid, right? She normally looks stupid. That part wasn't new, but the excessive, all that and the excessive, the cackling and all the hands and all this other stuff, she was on some shit right there. Like, you cannot convince me she wasn't. And I watch all her videos. I don't want to. I do it for y'all. You're welcome. I watch her stupid rallies. I watch her little videos that she makes and puts up on X. I watch whatever it is that she's got. But that one there, I was like, oh, Kamala has done drugs today. Lovely, lovely. This will go down well in history. Okay, so you had somebody who was a coke addict who is now a counselor for drug addicted teens going, no. That woman is on drugs. If she makes it into the White House, y'all, like as the president, just, there's no point in ever following the law again. That's what I've decided. If Kamala Harris is called the winner on November 5th, I'm never going to follow the law again. F your red lights. No, I'm kidding. Hey, dog, stop, Max. Protective over here. I'm not going to run red lights because that's not fair. That's not safe for anybody. I'll figure out some law to break. I don't know which one yet. It's probably going to be a very small one because I still don't want to break laws. But if she can do it, I feel like we should all be able to do it. So there's that. What I want to talk about now, is Donald Trump and Madison Square Garden. Okay? And the flying hypocrisy of the Democrat Party. All right? And how Kamala Harris, we looked at this a week or two ago, however long ago, time all melds together for me. She decided to call some emergency whatever outside of the vice presidential palace where she lives or whatever it is that she does in there, and had this whole entire thing about how Donald Trump is Hitler because somebody told her that he liked Hitler or something. I don't know, something like that. That was pretty much her whole speech. Since then, that has been everything mainstream media has been talking about. You cannot turn on any mainstream news without hearing the words Trump and Adolf Hitler put together. Every single time you're going to hear the word Nazi, you're going to hear all this stuff, and you're going to hear them comparing Trump to Hitler every single time. And my every time they compare him to something horrific, or every time they say he's going to do this if he becomes president, my very first thought is, do y'all remember that he was already president for 4 years? Where was he, racist in those 4 years? Where was he Hitler in those 4 years? Where was he whatever it is you're claiming he is in the 4 years he's already been in office? If he was going to do all of these things that the left is swearing up and down that he's going to do, wouldn't he have already done them? It just doesn't make sense to me. So this is, let's see, I don't know which direction I want to go with this. Let's go this way. So I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with this Charlie Kirk post because I was looking all this stuff up, but Charlie put it in a very condensed, very easy to follow thing. I'm going to read this to you. Suddenly, this week, the left decided that holding a political rally in Madison Square Garden was Nazi behavior because some pro-Nazi people held a rally at MSG almost 90 years ago. Never mind that Bill Clinton's DNC was held at Madison Square Garden in 1992. Never mind that LBJ closed his 1964 campaign by speaking to a crowd of 18,000 at Madison Square Garden. And he was actually at the same one the Nazis used, unlike Trump, because the current Madison Square Garden is a completely different arena and a different location. So the one that LBJ was in was the actual same one that had the whole, Nazi thing. The one Trump is in, completely different. Side note, same for Bill Clinton. The one he was in is technically a completely different Madison Square Garden, but they're comparing Donald Trump being in Madison Square Garden to this whole Hitler thing. So this is very important. These speeches were fine when they were Bill Clinton and LBJ because they were Democrats. Again, the hypocrisy and the democracy runs deep. Now they're rewriting the rules so that big political rallies in a big city is Nazi behavior. Although they didn't mind when Taylor Swift performed in Madison Square Garden. They don't mind when the basketball games are in Madison Square Garden. But if Donald Trump sets foot in Madison Square Garden, obviously there's a problem. The left calls themselves the adults in the room, but they are the exact opposite. They are a collection of hypocritical, mentally unstable children. They cannot be allowed to hold power. And I agree 100% with that. There is nothing that they are doing or that they are saying Donald Trump is doing that they are not doing themselves. And that's the problem. They are projecting. Oh, I'm a therapist today. They are projecting. Everything that they say they dislike about Trump is actually what they do. It's like when you're a kid and you've got a bully and somebody's bullying you and your parents go, the only reason they're bullying you is because they're jealous of you, or because they're scared of you, or because they know you're better than them, or because they're just idiots to begin with. That's the exact same thing with the Democrats right now. They are basically the bullies, right? And it's because they know that Kamala Harris cannot even hold an iota of a flame to Donald Trump. And because they know that they are the reason that our country is in the shit dumpster fire that it is because of the Democrats in office for the last 4 years. So they're projecting all of their crap and trying to pretend like it's Donald Trump when you can literally just step back and go, no, that's you. No, that's you too. That's also you. None of that is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not racist. Donald Trump is not the one. He's not a Hitler-esque, right? He's not a drunk because he doesn't drink. So many things. But this is from Bill Clinton when he was in Madison Square Garden. And again, it's backwards, but you get the gist. It says here, live from New York, Governor Bill Clinton at Madison Square Garden, 1992 Democratic National Convention, July 13th through the 16th in 1992. He was a Democrat delegate, the DNC. But when Donald Trump does it, it's bad. Bad Trump. Bad man. But it's fine when they do it. Do as I say, not as I do. Guess what? That doesn't work with my kid. It's not going to work with the American public either. So this is the 1924 Democrat Convention in Madison Square Garden included, Ku Klux Klansmen as delegates. They haven't changed. This is a really contested convention. The 1924 Democratic Klan Bake is what they called it. The convention was also notable because hundreds of Knights of the Ku Klux Klan attended as delegates. FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt? Franklin Delano Roosevelt? I never remember the middle name. Delivers the nominating speech for Alfred E. Smith at the Democratic Convention at Madison Square Garden, New York, June 26, 1924. And there's the picture in case anybody wants to see. That's right there. So once again, Trump had a rally at Madison Square Garden, and guess who did not attend? The KKK or the Nazis. So already Trump is winning in that area because when it's the Democrats, they're bringing in all the shit stains of the world to their conventions. Okay, let us continue. We shall move on. Then you have MSNBC. MSNBC. The blonde lady on MSNBC, is that where she is? That blonde lady? Mika, whatever the crap her name is. She looks like she needs to put some cucumbers on her eyes. They look a little effed up every time I see her, but I don't like her. Oh, I don't like her. She is absolute trash, in my opinion. The way she talks, the things that she says, just her whole general persona, not a fan. But I want you guys to hear what MSNBC was doing about Trump's rally. Listen to this and realize if this was flipped, Mika, Brzezinski, I don't know if it's Micah. It's Micah, not Mika, right? It's Micah, whatever. If the Republicans, if Fox News reported on a Democrat whatever in the same form and fashion that MSNBC is reporting on this Trump rally, everybody would be up in arms. But because MSNBC is doing it and because it helps the Democrats, it is silenced. Nobody on the left is saying anything. So I want you guys to hear this. I want you guys to hear and watch.
But that jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally. A rally where speakers voiced anti-Semitic rhetoric from a stage draped with Nazi banners. When a Jewish protester rushed the stage, the Associated Press reported, quote, instantly, a dozen or more stormtroopers set upon him, knocking him down and beating him as he held his head in his arms. Most of his clothing was torn from his body. Later, he was booked for disorderly conduct. Now, against that backdrop of history, Donald Trump, the man who has threatened to use the military against opponents he calls enemies from within, who has threatened to use the troops to quell what he says are lawless cities, and to use those troops to carry out mass deportations of immigrants, is once again turning Madison Square Garden into a staging ground for extremism.
Remember when journalists were worth a shit and instead this person is absolute trash. So many things wrong with every single thing that was said. Number one, it was Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's administration that just signed that DOD, Department of Defense 5240.10. I feel like that's the right numbers, 5240.10, which gives the military power to use lethal assault, lethal whatever maneuvers on American citizens. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, not Donald Trump. When Donald Trump said that he would use the military to deport illegal immigrants, guess what? That's not turning the military on American citizens. So already y'all are full of shit. it's turning the military on illegal immigrants who do not belong in this country because they are illegal. They are criminals because they have broken the law by being here illegally. What does the Democrat Party not understand about any of this? You tell them 2 + 2 = 4, and they fight you tooth and nail over it that no, it doesn't. And I'm like, wait, it has you second guessing yourself. You go, does 2 + 2 not equal 4? And you find yourself going around asking other people, hey, real quick, 2 + 2. What? 2 + 2? It's 4, right? It is 4, right? So, because you feel stupid because the Democrats are gaslighting the shit out of this nation. Y'all, they make my head hurt. They make my brain hurt on a daily basis. They make my emotions just go bonkers. Side note, if Donald Trump was who they said he was, he would not have had a Hispanic person speaking at his rally, a black man speaking at his rally, and an Indian man speaking at his rally. Seems pretty diverse if you ask me. Doesn't seem very KKK-ish / Naziist at all. What do I know? Right? This says, never seen a Nazi rally with Jews, blacks, and Hindus as speakers. Pretty accurate. It's not made up. That's them. They stood up and talked at the rally for Donald Trump. So again, the Democrats are stupid. That is all. We shall continue. I had another one. Oh, I love JD Vance. I am all about some JD Vance. I'm not even going to lie. Oh, I cannot. This is 2 hours and 24 minutes long. We're not going to listen to this whole thing. But JD Vance on stage at the Madison Square Garden rally or whatever else, he came up with a slogan for Kamala. Oh, what was it? Hold on. Now I got to Google this. JD Vance slogan for Kamala. Come on. We can do this. For Kamala at Madison Square Garden. Please tell me it comes up. Peddles lies. Nope. Where is it? Reads a quote. Y'all, if y'all know what it is, put it in the live chat because I can't find a way to pull it up fast enough. No. Oh, no. Here it is. Is this it? Maybe this is it. Hold on. I'm going to figure this out. We're going to listen to it. Okay. Somebody's got it here. Haha. Yay. I love the internet. I want you guys to hear this. So let's see if this will work. In theory, this is the correct thing.
When she was asked what she would do differently compared to Joe Biden, she said, nothing comes to mind. She's running on how she's going to be different, but she couldn't name a single thing that she would do differently than Joe Biden. Now, I will say that could be the Kamala Harris official campaign slogan. Kamala Harris, nothing comes to mind.
But it's his face after he says it. His face. The JD Vance smile, the smug smile. I love it. I'd put it on a t-shirt and wear it all day long. I absolutely loved that. Nothing comes to mind. That one was great. So who posted this? This is Patriot Lady over on X. That's the first one I found when I was Googling trying to find it. So thank you, Patriot Lady, for that, because that's exactly what I needed. So on top of all of that, at the Madison Square Garden, you also have stupid ass AOC. Nobody likes her. Number one, nobody likes her. But between her and Tim Walz, who also nobody likes, for some reason, AOC thought that the best thing that she could do to really bring in the people and really get those votes is to go on Twitch and stream live her and Tim Walz playing Madden. I don't know if they were, I guess that's a PlayStation thing. I don't think it's on Xbox. I don't even know what they were on. I obviously haven't played video games in forever, but I'm more like the old school where you go to the arcade and you put a quarter in and you play like Galaga and Dig Dug and Street Fighter and stuff like that. Like that's me. Need for Speed, pinball, whatever. Not so good at all this new stuff, but you have, I want you guys, Kamala is losing men by a historic margin. The solution, Tim Walz playing AOC in Madden and talking about politics while doing so. I can't believe this is real. And I find myself saying that so often when it comes to this whole entire election period. I can't believe this is real. You see the people in cat collars with their handlers holding on to them, talking about why they're voting for Kamala because they want their reproductive rights. And I'm like, is this real? You think you're a cat. What kind of reproductive rights do you need? Like, I don't understand what's happening. And then, anyway, Galaga, Galaxga, I can't even say it, but yes, that one too. I want you guys to hear AOC and Tim Walz. God, they're both so stupid. They're just so stupid. Like, how do you get this far in life and be that stupid? Anyway, listen.
Unbelievable. No, and I keep going back to this Project 2025 from Personal Freedoms. I think a lot of folks on here are kind of independent folks, independent thinkers about things. Why would you want the government telling you what books to read or what doctor to see or how big your family can be? That kind of stuff is ridiculous. And so I think you talk about football planning, it's the same way. If you're going to draw up a playbook in football, you're going to use it. Those guys drew up a playbook, and it's Project 2025.
So they Twitch streamed to play video games to keep people there so they'd visually have something to look at. And then they talked about just complete, absolute BS, Project 2025. That the still talking about Project 2025 is ridiculous to me. It is absolutely ridiculous to me. Guess what was around when Trump was president? Project whatever the hell number that was. Project 2016. Like, that was a thing. Project 2017, whatever. That was a thing. Guess what he didn't do? Implement Project 2016, 2017. Project 2025. Guess what he's not going to do? Implement Project 2025. Now, there are some things in Project 2025 that may be things that he looks at and goes, hey, you know what? Something along those lines is not a bad idea. It's very conservative. It's, bringing things back to normalcy. So maybe we'll look at one of these things. But they keep pushing that Project 2025 is a Donald Trump book. Like, he sat down and was like, you know what I should do? I should write a 962-page book about whatever the crap that whole thing is about. There's a lot in there. And then I should totally contradict everything when I'm out on the campaign trail, when I say that I'm not going to get rid of Social Security, when I talk about how I'm going to let the states continue to be in charge of the Roe v. Wade, the abortion things. It's just, it's mind numbing that we are still in this situation where you have people in power, because Tim Walz is in power. He is the governor of Minnesota. He is in power. You have Kamala Harris, who is in power. She is technically still the vice president of the United States, even though she's forgotten at all that she has those duties because she's so busy, on the campaign trail, drinking beer and clearly doing drugs and whatever else. These people are in power, and they are still dumb enough to think that standing up and bullying Trump by comparing him to Hitler, or standing up and lying to their people, to their base about Project 2025, how have they gotten this far? That's all I really want to know, is how do you get this far? Because there's no way it's by American people voting them in. There has to be strings being pulled in so many areas that we could not even see. That's absolutely ridiculous. You have the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum. You have all these other players that are all in bed with the Democrats, with each other. And all the world is a stage. It's a phrase for a reason, because all of this goes to work together to destroy the United States of America as we know it, to bring it into more of a one world order bullshit where everything is a centralized bank digital currency, the CBDC, where everything is one type of money and it's the same absolutely everywhere. So your money and your money, neither one of them is going to have more of an impact than this place because they're all going to be the same. You have it so that they want open borders everywhere. If you are a man who thinks he's a woman, I'm in the wrong for not calling you ma'am, although you're a fucking dude. Look, there is so much going on in our world right now. It is absolutely ridiculous. Did I save this picture? It's on my phone. Dang it. I really wanted to show you guys this. It's a Dr. Seuss thing, but it's not here. It's on my phone. Basically, it's Dr. Seuss saying, if you're born with a dick, you can't be a chick. Pretty much sums it up. If you're born with a dick, you can't be a chick. I don't know why that's so difficult for the other side to understand. That's totally off topic of anything we were talking about. It's just something that popped into my head, and it's because it's true. And I have more for you guys here. Hold on. I've lost myself completely. This is what happens on SquirrelTribe, but y'all know how this works. This is nothing new. It happens all the time. Where is this? Oh, somebody tagged me in this. They said they thought I would find it interesting. Tell it like it is on X. Tagged me in this one. This says here, Oprah encourages Blacks to vote for Democrats because their ancestors were denied the right to vote. But what she failed to mention was that the reason her Black ancestors weren't allowed to vote was because of the Democrats. So she's telling Blacks to vote for the very people who fought a civil war to keep their ancestors enslaved and who keeps Black communities oppressed still today. Very accurate. Very accurate. It's so interesting to me to see the Black community be divided over who they're voting for. I've noticed that if as a white person, and this is a race thing, obviously, but whatever, but if as a white person, you say you're voting Democrat, nobody blinks an eye. If you're white and you say you're voting Republican, nobody blinks an eye. But if you happen to be African-American or Black descent and you say you're voting Republican, they look at you like you have now, Uncle Tom, and you're not allowed to be part of this. You've gone over to the whites is basically what it comes down to. So seeing Black Democrats and Black Republicans and the difference in how they think, how they live, and this is going to sound all kinds of fucked up, and I know it, but there is a common denomination to a lot of Democrats in general, but even more so when you look at Hispanic Democrats, Black Democrats, even white Democrats. It seems to be more of a victim mentality kind of area, and people who are okay with being, how to phrase this where I don't sound like a complete asshole. There's probably not a way to phrase it that way. People who are okay being less than they could be if they would just stop being stupid. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but I feel like there's a lot of Democrats who continue to vote that way because they think that somehow it's going to help them. Although it's like, well, if you look at your situation in life and you voted Democrat your whole life and your life still is like a whole bag of shit, why do you think voting the same way and believing the same things is going to help you this time? Like, maybe look at things a little bit differently. Maybe look at the fact that the people you're voting for are the ones that are holding you down and making it harder for you to do these things, even though they're going to lie to you and tell you they're going to help you. If you just, maybe think about looking at the other side for a minute, you might see something different. And when you see people wake up, and I was myself one of them, you see people wake up from the lies and the push from media to just conform to whatever the left is, you open your eyes and realize that, oh my God, that's not where I want to be. And you look at more of what's on the right side, and it's called the right side for a reason, in my opinion. I mean, it's like subliminal, right? The right side, Republicans. You see the difference in how you can be as a person, right? Your mind changes completely. You look at things differently. I feel like you advance in the way you think, and your victim mentality goes out the window. And now you're more of I'm not going to be a victim anymore. And I feel like even your economic standing changes when you go from left to right. The social class kind of thing changes also. It's hard to explain. I think most of you know exactly what I mean and what I'm talking about. It's just mind-boggling to me that there's still so many people out there voting Democrat. But when I look at the people that they're showing who are pushing so hard for Kamala Harris, my first thought is, well, you're kind of the dregs of society. Why would I want to be like with you? I don't want to be, trans for Harris, and I don't want to be furries for Harris, and I don't want to be welfare bound for Harris. Like, there's so many things I don't want to be, and it seems that those are the groups that are for Harris. And it's like, how have you gotten this far and not realized that may be part of the reason why you are where you are? Anyway, that's random. Okay, that's all. I love you guys immensely. I have more, but I don't really have anything crazy to show you. I was trying to find one more thing, but I have lost it. I don't know where I put it. Oh, this one. Oh, we're going to do this one, and then I'm going to let you guys go. So Joe Biden, he went out and voted today, by the way. Who do you think he voted for? Do you really think he went up there and voted for Kamala Harris? Because remember, what you do in that voting booth, nobody has to know. You can tell them all day long that you voted for one and then go in there and vote for another one. I voted for Donald Trump. There is no way, literally gun to my head, would never vote for Kamala Harris. But Joe Biden I feel like because he did keep that Trump hat, took it on Air Force One with him after he left the FDNY on September 11th. I do feel like he probably went into the voting booth and said, oh, hold on, dismiss the alarm, that he went into the voting booth and said, you know what? Screw you guys. Donald Trump, JD Vance. I feel like he did. I'm going to play this for you, and then I'm going to let you be on your merry way because I have to go pick up my kid from school and the brightness is falling down. It's only 6 seconds. It's only 6 seconds, but listen.
We got a lot more work to do, Kamala does. A lot more work to do. We got a lot more work to do.
So this says, Biden says he and Kamala have a lot more work to do, then corrects himself and says it's all on Kamala. Because remember the coup where they pushed him out and now they just have him apologizing to Native Americans because they don't really want him doing anything else for the next couple months. This comes after numerous reports detailed the infighting between the two teams in the White House. Sounds like he's throwing her under the bus. Remember, Kamala Harris said that the last 4 years with her and Joe Biden, everything that they did together for the country and against the country. She would not change anything he has done, although her entire campaign is about how she's going to change so that the next 4 years are better. But she also wouldn't change anything that had been done. So if you're voting for Kamala Harris, you're getting 4 more years of the last 4 years of dumpster fire that we've been in. Just something to keep in mind. That is all. I love you guys immensely. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your Monday, my dudes. May put up another video later because, like I said, there's a lot more to talk about, but I ran out of time because I talked too long. And if not, we'll definitely be back here tomorrow. So deuces. I love you all. Goodbye.